The COVID-19 pandemic, Hurricane Laura, California wildfires, big cities under siege. At times, does it seem like it's all a little too much? Well, young American adults are finding it harder to cope. 25.5% say they've considered committing suicide this year. But there is hope for a hurting world. We all could use a little encouragement right now. Our next guest says he has just what the doctor ordered, or should I say the great physician. John Humphrey is vice president of I Am Second, and he's here to tell us about the new film, I Survived. John, thanks for being here to share about this film. So, you know the old saying, and I thought I had it bad. This is an encouraging film about 5 overcomers. Tell us about the common thread here, the theme.
Sure, Gary. We have had relationships with 5 individuals. They're one of 150 short films that we've produced over the last 12 years. And these 5 have impressed us about their ability to overcome traumatic and sometimes very devastating experiences in their life, really death-defying in some instances. And so when we examined their stories, we said, gosh, there's a common thread here. And we'd like to go ahead and to tell the story this way, especially at this time, because they really are inspirational when they recount their stories and how their faith really pulled them through.
I know Beth Hamilton, that's an amazing story about how she survived the shark. And we're coming up on the 19th anniversary of 9/11. One of the stories is about SUJO John. I've got to tell you, John, that's simply amazing. He's an immigrant from Calcutta. He survived the Twin Towers attack. Tell us about his story.
Well, SUJO is an inspirational story, and he vividly goes ahead and details what he was experiencing on that day when he was in one of the Twin Towers, and he lived to tell about it, and really recounts about how his wife was also supposed to be in one of those Twin Towers. And they have a reunion, and it's a sweet reunion. But in that moment, he realizes that both of them can't be the same as they go forward. And he really sees a different purpose in his life after that experience. He knows that God brought him through that experience, and then he has a vision for what God can do through him going forward.
And John, we want to show just a small clip right now of SUJO John, the immigrant from India who chased success.
September 11, 2001 rolls in. It's 8:40 in the morning, and I'm standing by this fax machine trying to send some documents out to one of our offices in Philadelphia when I hear this incredible explosion. I see hundreds of bodies of people that jumped out of the buildings. I'm trying to reach my wife. My wife worked on the other tower, but cell phones just wouldn't work. That night, me and my wife, before we tried to get any sleep, we knelt down by a bed. I said, God, here's a surrendered life. Would you rewrite the story of my life?
So, John, I guess when you're near death or facing trouble, tragedy, you really come to realize what's important in life, don't you? What do you want people to learn from this film? What's the takeaway?
Absolutely. It takes with many people, it takes that type of experience to really change their perspective. But we're all going through that now. Our lives have been uprooted. In many cases, we're dealing with loss and grief. It could be loss of a loved one. It could be a loss of a job. But so many things are different today than they were 8 months ago. And so all of us struggle with, are we going to make it through? How am I going to make it through? And as you noted, there's a great increase of anxiety and depression, mental illness, and even suicides that are happening. And really the message from our film here is that you can survive this. And these 5 individuals share their personal experience of how their faith and how moments of faith at that extreme situation really brought them through, and how they've been able to go ahead and to adapt since then and make their life count.
John, what inspired you the most in all of this?
Really, it's that second part. It's seeing that how all 5 of them have made a change in their direction in their life, and no longer are they living just for themselves, but each of them are doing things for the betterment of others. And to me, that just speaks volumes of what Christ can do in your life when he changes your heart. He brings you through a personal experience like that, gives you a vision of what he can do through you, and gives you the energy and the resources to carry it out.
Okay, so how can people view the film, I Survived?
Sure. It's available throughout the various platforms that I Am Second has, and that starts first with our website, iamsecond.com, or you can go and find it in social media on YouTube or on Facebook and even Instagram TV. But it's everywhere that I Am Second can be found, so just keep looking up I Am Second.
Good work there. Some compelling stories of survival and faith. John Humphrey of I Am Second, thank you for sharing about the new film, I Survived.
Thank you, Gary.